Hello, everybody, dear listeners of the Mystery Podcast. A very, very warm welcome to you. It's spring, budding spring in Hungary, in my native country at the moment. Cherry trees will soon be in blossom. You can smell reviving nature everywhere. And today, I would like to introduce you to the motto of our podcast, which is the following: the tree of life is in you. Find it with me. So, today we are going to start our little podcast with an exercise, with a little standing meditation. Then I'm going to move on to talk about the tree of life very briefly in different traditions of the world, and our energy systems, centers, the chakras in Sanskrit, as reflected by the makeup and qualities of the trees. At the end, I will give you a little bit of a special invitation to a live event which is happening in Budapest this Friday, and we are going to conclude with a song. So now I invite you, all of you please, who are listening to this podcast, to stand up and close your eyes. Find your balance, a balanced position of standing. Swing a little bit your feet from the left to the right and vice versa. Forwards, backwards a little bit until you arrive to a point where you feel balanced. And now imagine that you are a tree that you love, maybe your favorite type of tree, and you have firm, thick roots stretching down towards Mother Earth, towards Pachamama, towards the ground. These firm roots are a foundation for you to stand on. It will hold you whatever happens in your life. And also don't forget that these roots are intertwined below the ground, and that connects us all, whichever continent you are, whichever planet you are, on Earth, in the middle world, in the underworld, or on a different star system or galaxy. We are all connected. We're all living beings intertwined, in need of mutual support. So this is the foundation that we stand on. And now feel that your trunk is strong and erect and stable. Life is flowing through you. Nutrition is arriving both from below and from above, because you've got also branches and twigs. So now please stretch your arms up to the sky and give yourself a really, really big stretch. The famous proverb says that if you stretch towards the sky, you are guaranteed to reach the top of the trees, the foliage of the trees. So each and every day, start your day with a nice big stretch, connecting your antennae, your receptivity towards the sky, towards divine realms, towards the ascended masters and the realms of beings with a pure consciousness and with true unconditional love. Imagine that the sun is shining on you. The sun, which is not only a physical phenomenon, but it's also a being which emanates its energy, its light on all of us. And we, our body and our subtle bodies, are the connection between the earth and the sky. Feel with your eyes closed into this beauty of existence. Feel the gratitude for having been born. And then slowly, just look towards the earth, blink a little bit, and then slowly open your eyes. And put yourself in a comfortable position to listen to the rest of this video. So you can get back to this little exercise each and every day, visualizing of being a wise, benevolent, strong tree. The tree of life emerges in each spiritual tradition and ethnographic tradition of the world, in our cultures. In the shamanic worldview, shamans travel through the tree, of course internally, and then they can go down to the underworld, the realm of our ancestors and of our subconscious and our guardian beings, or they can be in the middle world where we are now, in the three-dimensional existence, or they can travel upwards to the divine angelic realm. But not only them, we can also do it. All of us. Also interesting to examine for a little while now. So I invite you to just digest a little bit this concept of the tree representing also our energy systems, our chakras. Different cultures, different traditions are agreeing always that the subtle energy centers and where they cross energy vortexes are what keep us alive, what keep us functioning in this 3D, three-dimensional existence. Whether we are familiar with the 7 chakra system, the 13 chakra system, or the infinite number of chakra system, we can now just very, very briefly examine how our 7 main chakras, which are also, located within our subtle body, and they also sustain our physical body, how they are reflected in a tree. The root chakra is very, very easy to consider. Our roots, our belonging, our traditions, our family, our nation, our company of friends, The firm roots are essential, and it's very, very important to connect to the wisdom of our ancestors, whether we have known them or not, and connect to them to be able to find our life purpose and our soul purpose that I'm also going to talk about a lot in the next few podcasts. And then the second chakra, which is of relationships, sexuality, also creativity. If you think about how creative, how mutually supportive trees are, and how they are connected with their roots, how they send messages to each other. Several books have been written recently about this topic. And also their connection, which is out of pure love, support, and pure intentions. And then the solar plexus, the 3rd chakra. Trees represent strength. It's quite interesting. I've recently been in Argentina, and I've learned that one of the strongest types of trees, which persists in virtually any condition, even when there is like a nuclear threat, is the palm tree. So the palm tree is also very, very important for the Hungarian Pauline order, the mystical orders tradition, which I'm going to talk about again a bit later, because the monks, the hermits rather, who were dwelling in the forests and caves of Hungary, wore clothing of palm trees. It was woven, and it also represented not only perfection but also equality. There was no hierarchy as such within that group, within that community. And also the palm tree is also connected to Jesus Christ, and Easter is near, so we all know that the palm tree, the palm leaf emerges when he's entering Jerusalem. So strength, confidence, representation of who we are, our essence, they all can be found in a tree. And then the heart chakra, the heart energy system. Of course, we've mentioned already the qualities of trees and that of the sun, of giving shade and light to each and every living being in a non-selective way, without the ego's plays and tricks. And then the throat chakra, communication. They are also in communication with each other, trees are, and not only with the weather elements, but with each other. Also, this communication is maybe not audible to our physical ears as human beings, but it is telepathic. And telepathy and how to develop our refined energy channels are also going to be a theme to be covered in this series. So communication, saying the truth, that is also a vital element in our lives. And then also the intuition, the third eye, which is located between our eyebrows. Trees are intuitive beings. And whenever I feel a little bit perplexed or sad or a bit doubtful, then I just go to a park or to the local forest and I just put my back against the tree, lean against one, and I ask for their intuitive wisdom. And the message that crops up during these small meditations are usually very, very valuable. And then finally, the crown chakra. Of course, the trees have the crowns, the beautiful extended foliages, and that is their connection to the higher self, the intuitive guidance, and also that all-encompassing, transcendent, and immanent source, light and love. So that's just a little introduction of our energy centers, our 7 main energy centers, as reflected in a tree. And in the next few podcasts, I'm going to talk about the 3 worlds, the underworld, which is representing also our ancestral wisdom, and also lots of beings which inhabit the inner earth, and so-called Spanish, it's called Tierra Interna, in Hungarian Belső Föld. So I'm going to present these videos in multiple languages from now, so it can get to more people on the path of awakening. And then we are going to talk about the middle world, our 3D, and how to purify our channels to be sensitized to the message of the upper world, which is the more subtle and also the divine, pure realm. So we are going to talk about each of them. One video is going to be devoted to each level, to each world, so to say. And also at the end, I would just like to invite you, those of you who are either Hungarians or foreigners living in Hungary, this Friday on the 11th of April at 3:45 p.m. I'm going to have a presentation about the upper world in a way, because I'm going to talk about my recent trip to Uruguay and Argentina. All of you are invited. Details can be found on my Facebook page. And we are going to talk about light phenomena and that kind of subtle communication with beings of different other realms. So it's very relevant to this video. And I would like to say goodbye to you. Wish you a beautiful, very, very nice day. And Let me just sing to you the first stanza of a Hungarian folk song where different realms emerge.